Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Sorry, an Apache helicopter flew over my house when I said that. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Giggity, real name is Mark, and in today's video, we are going to be ranking all 49 Call of Duty Advanced Warfare guns from worst to best. This is the next part of our series, ranking every single gun in every single Call of Duty game from worst to best in order of release. So obviously that means we've already done COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, Ghosts, and now today it is COD Advanced Warfare. And fun fact, actually, this is still Modern Warfare 3, the original Modern Warfare 3 is still the highest amount of guns in any Call of Duty game with 50. This one's close though, 49 obviously is very close. But Modern Warfare 3 2011 is the highest so far. I wonder which one's going to be the actual highest in the end, because obviously we start to get to the point where now these games are starting to add DLC weapons, which actually is something I really quickly wanted to mention. A lot of the DLC weapons in this game I unfortunately never even got the chance to use, unless I picked it up off the ground once or twice obviously, but I did not spend $5,000 on supply drops to hopefully get every single DLC weapon. So there are some of these where I'm just going to have to be going off of what I believe the community's opinion is. Obviously, the rest of the guns, yeah, that's my opinion. Which, by the way, yeah, that's the thing. It's ranking it based on personal preference. I'm not a professional. I'm not ranking it on statistics or anything like that. Just my personal preference of these guns. Obviously, yes, the weapons that are better do tend to end up being towards the top of the list because I like using guns that are good, obviously. But that doesn't mean that this is a end-all be-all list of the best ones. Just my personal opinion. And also, we're not ranking any of the grenades or melee weapons or anything like that because those are not guns, and I have a whole other video planned out for those anyways. Also, any weapons only usable in the campaign or kill streak holdable weapons are also not mentioned here. It's just multiplayer primaries and secondaries, okay? The only, I guess, caveat to that is the heavy shield. That's the only exception to that rule, because in my opinion the assault shields or riot shields, or in this game the heavy shield, is its own little thing. So we're splitting it up into 6 tiers, by the way: the awful tier, bad tier, average tier, good tier, amazing tier, and the best tier. And song of the day is called Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. You know what song it is, man. I don't got to explain it to you, but yeah, it's a white girl song and it's a freaking banger. Every time it comes to this time of year, the winter's done, we're starting to get into the nice weather, I'm starting to go outside, riding my dirt bike and going and hanging out with my boys up in outdoors. I always like to listen to the white girl music, happy, keep them up music, and this is one of them. So it's a banger. But without further ado, let's get right into it with number 49, my least favorite weapon in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And that is the heavy shield. But before we get into that really quick, I did want to mention one more thing. Even though I did use every single one of these default guns, again, not all the DLC guns, even though I used all the regular guns, Advanced Warfare is one of my least played Call of Duty, so a lot of these can also be thrown around, and I really wouldn't mind too much. This is not the end-all be-all list, even for me, even for my personal opinion. If I were to play this game more, I'm sure a lot of things would change. Either way though, yeah, 49th place is the heavy shield. It's a shield. It's a riot shield. It's not fun for me. Coming in at 48th place is going to the Stinger M7. The Stinger M7 is actually kind of cool because it locks on to, metal and electronics and stuff like that. So what does that mean? You can lock on to enemy foot soldiers or enemy infantry, or just enemies, because they have exosuits, and exosuits are obviously electronic mechanic metal things, and so this weapon can actually lock on to enemies and kill the enemies by locking onto them, which is cool in theory, but then you realize, how long do you have to aim at an enemy with a rocket launcher before they realize you're aiming at them? Chances are you're going to aim at them with the Stinger M7, they're going to see you aiming at them, and they're just going to kill you. So it's not as good as it sounds. Coming in at 47th place, however, is going to the MAWS, or the MAAWS. For some reason, I always thought this thing was called the Jaws. Why am I guess I was horribly mistaken. Either way, it's another rocket launcher. It's not a lock-on launcher, so you're gonna have to aim it if you want to take down kill streaks, but it's obviously a little bit faster for taking down regular enemies, and obviously I like using launchers to take down regular enemies over killing kill streaks, but overall it's a launcher. I'm not a big fan of launchers. Hey, would you look at that? 46th place is going to the Mayhem. Yeah, in every single one of these ranking all COD guns from worst to best videos, all the launchers are obviously at the end. It's not that launchers are useless in COD games. I'm still happy that they introduced them. If they didn't have launchers and there was no way to take care of kill streaks, that would be horrible. But at the end of the day, obviously I'm not excited to run a launcher ever, so that's why they're always at the bottom. And the Mayhem is the fastest and the best, in my opinion, for taking care of enemies, and that's again what I like to use launchers for. But again, it's a launcher. Okay, 45th place might make some people angry because it's a DLC weapon, and it's a very, very, like, not beloved DLC weapon, but a lot of people talk about it. It's a unique one, and so it's a very, like, popular topic of conversation. Let's leave it at that. It's the blunderbuss. The blunderbuss, for those who don't know, is pretty much... Do you know muskets? In real life, it's pretty much a musket. That's pretty much what it is. It's like a shotgun thing that you have to reload every single time you shoot it, and it takes very long to reload. It's not like the Moors where you get to reload it pretty quickly. It's a very long reload time, and the worst part of that is it can get hit markers. This weapon should have not been able to get hit markers because of the reload. It is insane to me how this thing can get hit markers, and if you get a hit marker, it is horrible, and if you miss a shot, it is horrible. It has no iron sights pretty much whatsoever. It is a bad weapon. It's a very, very bad weapon. Cool, but bad. Coming in at the number 44 spot is going to the MDL. What does that stand for? Mark the Liquor. Yeah, that's what they called me in high school. The MDL is a, like, one of them weird, you know, the MK32 from Ghost, or the War Machine from Black Ops 2. It's that's exactly what it is, pretty much. And these are always fine. Again, they're clearly meant to be people killing launchers, not kill streak killing launchers, and so they're good at that. Actually, they're fine at that. They have 6 grenades in the chamber. They explode on impact. That's cool and everything, but again, why in God's name would I ever use this, man? Coming in at 43rd place, and the final one for the awful tier, there's actually quite a bit of guns in the awful tier for Advanced Warfare. It's the crossbow. The crossbow is just the same as every other crossbow in Call of Duty history. It's a crossbow where if you shoot the bolt and it hits onto somebody, it'll blow up eventually, and it can kill them with the blowing up. It's fun and it's cool to use sometimes and get cool clips with. Every time that anybody gets a kill where they stick somebody with the crossbow bolt, they feel like they're freaking John Marston from Red Dead Redemption. But overall, I'm not gonna actually run it. I'll use it like once or twice, maybe try to get gold on it just to like flex that I have gold on the crossbow, and then that's it. Actually, no, it wouldn't even be that hard to get gold on the crossbow, because isn't this the game where gold is just like its own weapon, like thing? You don't have to get all the other camos for gold in this game. I believe it is. Okay, but now we are into the bad tier. So weapons in this tier, they're not horrible. You're not gonna be like literally trying to gouge your eyes out and trying to, hitch a ride to live in India when using these weapons, but you're also not going to be super excited. I'm just going to put it out there. 42nd place, the first one for the bad tier, is the lever action. The lever action, it sounds like it's going to be like a kind of like the Lockwood at Mark MK2 from like Modern Warfare 2. It's not like that at all. It's very, very different. It's very fast firing, actually. Again, kind of feel like John Marston, that's kind of cool. It's high noon when you use this bad boy, but it kind of takes away from the whole purpose of a lever action. Like, the lever action is supposed to be cool because it's like a one shot and then you cock it back with the lever action point, but that's not what this does. It's like just a semi-auto DMR that does like mid damage. 41st place is probably the most insulting DLC weapon we've ever gotten in the Call of Duty history. It's the SVO. Don't let that fool you. It sounds pretty cool, especially when you know about Lamborghinis, because the Lamborghini Huracan STO is a cool weapon. But this is not a cool gun, or a cool car. But this is not a cool gun at all. It's the Dragunov, and it's a DLC weapon. If I swear, if I ever open up a supply drop in Advanced Warfare and it says Elite, and it's a freaking SVO, I'm crashing out. I am going to the Call of Duty headquarters and doing backflips in their front lawn. It's going to be a nightmare for them. They're going to have to clean up. I'm going to make sure I step in dog poop before I go over there too. The SVO it's literally the Dragunov. I hate the Dragunov. Breaking its way into the top 40, however, is going to, in my opinion, the worst secondary pistol in this game, the MP443 Crotch, or Grotch. It's a full auto, I believe, or maybe it's a 3-round burst. I can't exactly remember. I think it's 3-round burst, actually. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure it's 3-round burst, so I take that back. But either way, it's a not single firing pistol, so that's at least something. But oh my goodness gracious, is it weak? It is so weak as a pistol. Now, most pistols in Advanced Warfare, I'm going to be 100% honest, kind of fall flat because there's one pistol in Advanced Warfare that is just so much freaking better than them. But still, even if that didn't exist, I would still not be using this gun. And coming in at 39th place is going to the Atlas 45, another pistol in this game that, in my opinion, okay, so again, every COD has that basic pistol, the starting pistol, that's just fine. You know what I mean? It's not, you're never going to keep it on, you know, your classes. When you start to level up and get new pistols, you're not going to keep it, but it's a fine start. And that's the Atlas 45 of this game. It's a semi-auto pistol that does fine damage. It's fine. The only thing about the Atlas 45 that drives me insane is how it looks. I cannot be the only person out there that thinks that this gun looks so stupid. Why would anybody ever design a pistol this way? It looks like it would be worse to use than a regular pistol. Like, just give me a regular pistol, man. I don't need this. Coming in at 38th place, kind of pains me to put it this low because it's such a legendary gun. But God, it's another one of the DLC guns that, like, I do not want at all. The M1 Garand. The M1 Garand is it's not good in this game. Every time I've ever seen anybody play a game with the M1 Garand and call an Advanced Warfare, I am like, yeah, thank God I didn't open that. For those who don't know, well, everybody doesn't know, actually. I don't know why I said for those who don't know, but I've only gotten 2 guns total, that DLC guns, out of the DLC box thing, and that is the Sten and the Cell 3 Cauterizer. Those are the only 2 DLC weapons I ever like boxed in these games. And so again, most of the DLC weapons I don't really get to actually play with, and I'm really happy I don't with the M1 Garand. Coming in at 37th place is the first SMG, and it's again mainly down here because it's a DLC weapon. A lot of DLC weapons in COD history, they have this added like DLC tax, in my opinion, when it comes to ranking them, because if they have to be even better than just a regular gun if they want to place higher than that gun, in my opinion, because you have to unlock them some certain way. And in these CODs in particular, it's the worst way possible. That is obviously supply drops. Freaking Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 were horrible with that. At least in Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 4 and World War II, you could earn like salvage to craft them. In these games, that wasn't possible. The repulsor is just not worth it in any right, especially when like a lot of SMGs in this game were pretty strong. Coming in at the number 36 spot, however, is going to be going to the worst shotgun in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, in my opinion, the S12. The S12 is a bullpup shotgun, which is actually kind of cool. I give it respect for that, you know, bullpup shotgun. That's very rare. As a matter of fact, I can't think of any other Call of Duty bullpup shotgun right now. I believe this is the only one. I'm probably horribly wrong with that, but it's the only one I can think of right now. And it's a semi-auto, you know, bullpup with a drum mag in the back too, which is again kind of cool as well. But overall, it's like, have you ever really ran around with the S12 and like did good with it? I can't remember doing it. Some people might be like, oh, well, it's the Brecci before the Brecci. No, it's not. The Brecci was the first Brecci. Coming in at 35 might make some people angry because I know a lot of people liked it just because of how weird it was. It's the EM1. For those who don't know, the EM1 is a direct laser, which means that this gun pretty much had like no recoil whatsoever. It was a laser shooting, literally a laser LMG in this game. But I hated this gun. I was never good with it. Every time I used it, I didn't like how it looked. I didn't like how it handled. I like shooting bullets, you know. I think that's much cooler than shooting a laser out of my gun, in my opinion. And so I really was just not a fan of the EM1. I know a lot of other people were, but me personally, I did not really like it. And then the whole recharge thing too. It's like, I would rather just reload. I'm sorry, I'd just rather reload. Coming in at 34th place. Okay, this is genuinely like true John Marston territory here because it's the M1 Irons. The M1 Irons is a classic old school revolver, how you think of a classic old school revolver. I'm not talking 44 Magnum, no, I'm talking like genuine like Western, you know, good, bad, and ugly style revolver. That is what the M1 Irons is. And it was fine. A lot of people again liked it and everything like that, but again, it's another secondary where why would you use it over, I'll just spoil it, I guess, the RW1. Coming in at 33rd place, and the final one for the bad tier, before we get into the average tier, is just another secondary. Oh my goodness, I almost just like freaking choked on my own saliva there. Another secondary in this game where it just kind of fell flat. It's the PDW. The PDW was definitely fine, and it was okay, but it had the lowest like damage of any of the pistols, and also at range, it was absolutely horrendous. It was 3-round burst. I think, wasn't it also like available also as full auto if you decided to turn it into full auto? I can't remember. No, I think it was full auto in Advanced Warfare, but 3-round burst in Ghosts. Either way, it sucked, is what I'm trying to get at. It wasn't great when you compare it to the RW1. If the RW1 didn't exist, would you have used the PDW? Maybe, yeah, there's a good chance you would have. But overall, I think it just fell flat. Alrighty, now we are into the average tier. So weapons in this tier are just average, man. In the grand scheme of Call of Duty, I would say they're honestly, yeah, they're probably just average in the grand scheme of Call of Duty as well, because there are other games where the average weapons in those games are definitely stronger than the average weapons in this game. But they're like this game's average weapons are definitely stronger than like Black Ops 1's average weapons. Either way, 32nd place is the EPM3. I believe this one was DLC again, if I'm not mistaken, and it was an LMG and looked absolutely horrendous. It was unbelievably ugly looking. Oh wait, no, this was not DLC. I remember what this thing was. This thing was absolutely, oh my goodness, yeah, I hated this weapon. I hated this. I don't know why I put this one in the average tier. It was not that great. I did not like it. Coming in at 31st place, barely missing out on the old top 30, is going to the SN6. Probably the most forgotten about gun in Advanced Warfare, and for good reason. It was a full auto SMG that was, it was just fine. Like it was just, again, it was just so average. It was, no one was using the SN6 because why would you? There was just so many better options, better alternatives, especially in the SMGs class, that the SN6 just fell flat. Breaking its way into the top 30 location is going to, I believe, the first regular sniper of this game, because the SVO was here, and that thing is technically a sniper rifle. I hate that thing. The NA-45. For those who don't know, I'm a big old sniper fan. I love sniping in Call of Duties, even though I suck at it. I'm actually horrendous at sniping, but I like doing it. It's fun. The NA-45 was not fun, and I did not like using it. It was bad. I guess I can kind of see how some people would like it. But it's just not me, man. It's, for those who don't know, it's a you have to shoot 2 shots to kill them, because the first shot shoots like almost like a Semtex style thing where it's like a sticky bullet, and then the second shot explodes that sticky bullet and will kill the enemy if you hit him with it. It's fine. For those who think like, oh well, that means you could shoot it at the ground or like to the wall behind him and then explode him. No, it had the worst blast radius known to man, so no, it did not do that. 29th place, hey, here it is. It's my, one of the DLC weapons I actually own in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the Sten. Yeah, I got the Sten, man. It was, I was excited, super excited to use it. I was actually very, very excited to use the Sten, and then I used it and realized, wow, that's mid. That is so mid at best. It is just not great, man. I'm just gonna put it out there. The Sten, the World War II weapons, as a matter of fact, as a whole in Advanced Warfare, just really didn't feel that great to use. Coming in at 28th place, you guys understand by now, if you've watched any of my other ranking all guns videos, how I feel about single shot DMR style weapons, and this is the MK14. I think the MK14 has been in every single Call of Duty so far. I'm pretty sure it is. It's in literally like every single one of them, and I don't know why, because it is not a weapon that I feel like everybody's begging for them to bring back. The MK14, it's a single shot semi-auto AR that, yeah, again, I guess for the people that like that, it's good in that right. But overall, am I going to use this over any other AR in COD in Advanced Warfare? Probably not. As a matter of fact, coming in at the number 27 spot is going to be going to a Advanced Warfare assault rifle that I would much rather use over the MK14, the IMR. A 4-round burst, and it prints rounds to the like ammo reserve, not like to your mag, but to the ammo reserve. That's, you know, pretty cool. That's what it sounds like, but it's just not, it just doesn't feel that great. And like, it also has a very, very small range, I feel like, for a assault rifle. It's just, again, very, very forgettable of a gun. Coming in at 26th place is definitely not a forgettable gun. I feel like everybody remembers this gun, but it was not a good one. The XMG. For those who don't know, the XMG is an LMG in COD Advanced Warfare that you hold in both hands. You look like the freaking Terminator running around with this thing. You have 2 of them. I don't know how your soldier does that. He must be actually Arnold Schwarzenegger in order to hold up both those, but he can do it. And then on top of that, you obviously can't aim down sights because you're dual wielding them, and so obviously the spread is very, very bad, which is weird because obviously it's an LMG, and so you're probably going to want to shoot enemies at range, right? Well, don't worry, they got you covered. If you can like turret yourself and set up like a turret thing and use yourself as the turret, which ends up not being that great half the time, because then if they start shooting at you, you cannot duck behind cover super quick, and you have to stay in one location, and that is probably the worst way of playing Call of Duty in my opinion. Coming in at number 25 spot is another sniper rifle. Unfortunately, Advanced Warfare really did not get sniping down very well. I think Black Ops 3 did fine, but Advanced Warfare, they did not hit the mark when it came to sniping. The Atlas 20mm. The Atlas 20mm is this game's Barrett 50 cal, pretty much. It for some reason was held on your shoulder, so it looked like you were holding, you know how like in Halo, the rocket launcher in Halo, that's what it was holding. The Atlas 20mm reminded me of so much. Like that's exactly how it felt holding these things. Did it hit heavy? Not really, honestly. I do not remember getting a lot of one-shots with the Atlas 20mm, and on top of that, it's like very, very slow. It's a bad sniper. Coming in at the number 24 spot, and the final one for the average tier before we move along into the good tier is the AMR-9. The AMR-9 is the last SMG you unlock in Advanced Warfare, and is it worth it? In my opinion, not really. Again, there's a problem with Advanced Warfare where there's a big problem with Advanced Warfare, and that is the supply drops, because the supply drops can give you elite versions of other guns. So if you have like a basic AMR-9 and you go up against a ASM-1 Speakeasy, it's like, what's the point? You know, you're not going to win that gunfight. The AMR-9, it just felt weird. It didn't feel good for an SMG. It didn't even really feel like an SMG. It kind of felt more like an assault rifle over anything else. It was a weird gun. Okay, but now we are into the good tier. So guns in this tier are good in Advanced Warfare, but I would still say they're probably around average for the grand scheme of Call of Duty. This game had a lot of average COD guns, and then the ones that were good were unbelievably good. 23rd place is the MP40. Everything that I've said before with any of the other World War II style weapons in this game kind of applies to the MP40 perfectly. The MP40 is just feels too slow. It shoots too slow. It doesn't do enough damage. It's kind of, I guess it's kind of realistic, because obviously, you know, 20 years from now when we have exosuits jumping around and fighting each other in Russia, yeah, chances are World War II weapons will not be very strong over there, but it's kind of annoying because the MP40 was such a legendary gun. I feel like it should have been a lot better. Coming in at the number 22 spot, the 22nd location, is going to another LMG, the Ohm, or the Ohm Wrecker. I feel like, didn't somebody end up making their YouTube name Ohm after this gun, if I'm not mistaken? Either way, the Ohm is another LMG. I do have this one, but I thought it was a DLC weapon, so maybe I was wrong about earlier before when I said that I only had 2 DLC weapons, because maybe I did get this in the DLC pack, supply drop and just completely forgot about it. But either way, it's fine. It never felt bad or anything for an LMG in this game. I just do think there are better LMGs though. Coming in at the number 21 spot, barely missing out on the old top 20, is the other supply drop weapon that I know I did unlock, the Cell 3 Cauterizer. The Cell 3 Cauterizer is a semi-auto shotgun that is really, really weird, and you hold it in one hand, but for some reason, I don't believe you can dual wield them. I don't know why you're not allowed to do that, but either way, it's a really, very weird weapon. It's really good in zombies, the Cell 3 Cauterizer, actually, but in multiplayer, it felt really average yet again. There were, I believe at launch, it was stupidly overpowered. Like when this gun first came out, I believe there are some people out there that would say that, but I unfortunately wasn't playing the game when this gun came out. I got this one like last year, so I don't know about that. Breaking its way into the top 20 is going to the CBJMS, or what they call the MP11. I don't know why they named it the MP11 when it's literally like almost a carbon copy of the CBJMS from COD Ghost, but that's what it is. It's another SMG in this game that just like is so forgotten because of the ASM-1. Like, it really is unfortunate how they managed to do these supply drops in COD in Advanced Warfare, because the MP11 is just one of those guns where no one really uses it anymore or even talks about it anymore, because it's just like, why would you? Coming in at the number 19 spot, however, is going to be going to the Lynx. The Lynx is back for the second time now, and it's fine. I've always kind of had a little bit of a respect for the Lynx, because it's a huge semi-auto sniper, but it's again another like Barrett 50 cal sort of gun where it's semi-auto, but it will one-shot for the most part, and so it's fun to use. It's very, very slow, obviously, but it feels fun. And also in Advanced Warfare, I know it's annoying to say this, but I do like the weapons that are a little bit more realistic. Like the Lynx, it's still futuristic, but it's not like stupidly futuristic like the Atlas 20mm, and so I didn't mind using it. Overall though, it's just not competitive. Coming in at 18th place is another gun that is a DLC weapon that just kind of falls flat on its face. I wouldn't be mad if I got this one though, because I do think it's kind of cool, even if it wasn't that great. The AK-47. The AK-47 is obviously an AK-47. Everybody loves the AK-47s. It's one of my favorite guns of all time. I think they're just super cool looking, and yeah, I like them a lot. But in terms of the grand scheme of like, is this gun good? No, not really. It's just another one where it's like, thank God, you know, again, I'm not mad that the DLC weapons aren't great in these games, but it just wasn't that great. Coming in at the number 17 spot is the one that I always remember. This one, every other gun is always like forgettable in Advanced Warfare, I feel like, but for some reason this one always like hits me in the brain. The AE-4. I don't know why, but yeah, I always just think about the AE-4. It always kind of reminds me of of Advanced Warfare. Every time I think of Advanced Warfare, I think of this gun. It's not even that great or anything, but I don't know, it just kind of like screams Advanced Warfare to me. The design is super weird. I really don't like how it looks or anything like that, but it was okay for an assault rifle. It's just, it's I'm not gonna sound like a broken record here, but it's fine. Coming in at the number 16 spot is a very, very good LMG. I do not think it's the best LMG in the game, but a very good one, a very strong one. The Pytech, or the Pytech. I'm just going to call it the Pytech, because that's how I like to say. It looks, at first glance, it looks like just a regular old LMG, and you're like, hey, finally, like, just a regular modern gun. But then you aim down sights, and it has, like, this absolutely wild-looking iron sights. But besides the iron sight thing, it's a pretty decent LMG, actually. It doesn't have any stupid quirks or features about it that makes it, like, unusable. I feel like they tried doing that with almost every single LMG in this game, and that means that the ones that are just normal felt fine, and this is one of those. Coming in at number 15 spot, it makes its return from COD Ghost, and I'm actually kind of happy it did because I liked this gun in COD Ghost. The Bulldog. It's good. It's just as good in Advanced Warfare as it was in COD Ghost, in my opinion. Every time I use the Bulldog, I'm a pretty happy lad. On top of that, again, I know it's Advanced Warfare, and people are like, oh my god, well, you have to, why don't you like the, like, you know, advanced, new, you know, futuristic guns? But I don't know, I just like the guns that are a little bit, like, this is futuristic enough to me. Like, obviously a Bulldog is not a real life shotgun, and so looking at this is like, yeah, that's cool to me. 14th place is another one that's actually perfect and actually fits the Bulldog thing as well. The ARX 160. The ARX 160 is another COD Ghost weapon that was brought into Advanced Warfare that I think is perfect in terms of its, like, futuristicness. Like, it's clearly futuristic, but it's not so futuristic to the point where it's, like, unbelievable, you know? And that's why I like the ARX 160. It's a fun gun to use. It also, like, looks really cool, and on top of that, it's pretty freaking strong. It's a good assault rifle. Is it as great as, you know, the assault rifle of Advanced Warfare? Definitely not, but it's good. Coming in at 13th place is another Call of Duty Ghost gun that was just brought into the Advanced Warfare, the AK-12. The AK-12 is one that actually does feel a little bit too outdated, because it's like, this is an actual, like, modern gun right now, like in 2025, and so it actually does feel like a little bit too modern, which is kind of weird. But overall, it was definitely very, very strong, a very, very good assault rifle in this game to use. I actually do have, like, an elite version of the AK-12 as well, which makes me pretty happy, because I obviously like using the elite weapons just as much as everybody else does, so that's good. But overall, yeah, it's good. It's a good assault rifle. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, but now we are into the amazing tier. Unfortunately, I forgot to mention that at the last one, because I didn't realize it was going to be the amazing tier, because my script was split up into 2 different pages right at the amazing tier spot. So now we're into it, though. 12th place is in 1911. This was an absolutely broken sidearm when it was first launched, but I do believe they nerfed it, because nowadays, luckily, you can go back in Advanced Warfare. Not that many people use it, thank God, because again, at launch, this thing was stupidly good. It's pretty cool. Like, the 1911 M1911s are obviously super awesome guns. Everybody loves the M1911s, but overall, am I, like, extremely ecstatic to use it? Or no, that's not what I meant to say. Am I, like, extremely ecstatic that it exists in this game? No, because it's a DLC weapon, and not all of us get it. Coming in at the number 11 spot, barely missing out on the old top 10, is going to the SAC 3. This might be higher than a lot of people expect, because I feel like a lot of people don't really use the SAC 3 too much in Advanced Warfare, but I loved this gun back in the day. I didn't play too much of this game when it first came out, and pretty much all of my playtime on Advanced Warfare is recently, like within the last, like, year or two. So, but when I did play it when it first came out, this was one of the ones that I liked using a lot, because I liked the idea of having to use it dual wield. It just felt, like, really cool, and it was not like the XMG, where the XMG was just annoying. It was much different from that. Alright, lads. However, breaking its way into the top 10 is going to the STG-44. This was a World War II gun in Advanced Warfare that actually worked. It actually did its job, and was actually a very, very strong contender. And that's a very unfortunate thing, though, because it was, as we all know, a DLC weapon. Kind of sucks, obviously, in that right, but overall, it's still really good. I gotta give it, you know, credit where credit is due. It actually probably deserves to be a little bit higher, but I am taking it down a couple notches because of the fact that it is a DLC weapon. But yeah, it's very strong. Every time people use it, they get great kill streaks with it. Every time I've picked it up, I like using it. It's just a good Advanced Warfare assault rifle. And coming in at 9th place is, in my opinion, the best LMG in all of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the Amelie. the Amelie, I still don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna go with Amelie. Amelie is brought back from COD Ghost, obviously, and in COD Ghost it was super strong, and in this game it's super strong. It is, in my opinion, the best LMG. It also just looks super cool. I love using the Amelie. It's one of those LMG, like, I'm not a big LMG fan in COD history, just in general, but it is one of those LMGs where every time it's in like a COD game, I'm gonna use it. Like, I'm definitely gonna use it. I'm gonna use it and do pretty good with it probably, because they're always like, I don't know, I just always love the Amelie, and the way it handles, the way it looks, everything about it is just really, really nice. I like it. It's a good weapon. Coming in at 8th place is definitely a forgotten legend in my opinion. I feel like no one talks about this gun, and I love it so much. The KF5. The KF5 is this game's pretty much MP5, and it's your starting SMG. It's the first SMG you start with in the game, and it is a very reliable, very strong SMG. Does it do anything like incredible? Definitely not. You know, it's not like, you know, you're not going to start writing home to mom about the KF5. But if I'm being honest, I'm not going to write home to mom about any Call of Duty guns, because she's going to be like, wow, my son is a dork. And so I'm not going to do that. But the KF5 is a very, very, very just overall well-rounded, solid SMG in this game that feels fun to use. Coming in at 7th place, I feel like people don't remember how broken this gun was. Again, I'm not the biggest Advanced Warfare fan. Didn't play the most Advanced Warfare out there. But this gun rings a bell in my mind, that's for sure. The TAC-19, it is by far the best pump action, or best just shotgun in general in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. It was a pump action shotgun that would one-shot very consistently. And that's a good thing, you know. A lot of people hate when shotguns are good in COD. I agree. I hate when they're broken in COD, though. When they're just good and they're just like, you know, very, very well-rounded, like the TAC-19 was, though, it's fine. I don't really have too much of a problem with it. Now, back in the day when I was first playing, I would get floored by it all the time, but they have nerfed it since then, and it's overall just a pretty good weapon. Coming in at 6th place is the best secondary in all of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, in my opinion. And in my opinion, one of the best secondaries of all time. I love this gun. The RW1. For those who don't know, the RW1 is pretty much just like a mini Mors. And for those who don't know what the Mors is, it's a gun where when you shoot one bullet out of it, you have to reload it immediately after. But what that means is that one bullet will almost always one-shot. And the RW1 is just like that. It is such a fun gun to use, such a rewarding gun to use if you're good at aiming, and is overall, in my opinion, the best secondary in all of Advanced Warfare. It is so great, and the fact that they've never brought it back, I guess, kind of makes sense, because obviously, you know, we haven't had a lot of futuristic COD since this one, but like, it would just be, I really think they should. All right, now this might be a hot take. This is probably the hot take of the list, actually, but coming in at 5th place, and the final one for the amazing tier before we get into the best tier, is the M16. It's the best DLC weapon in Advanced Warfare, in my opinion, because I've picked it up like multiple times now, and it is pretty freaking strong at least in modern Advanced Warfare. Like, playing Advanced Warfare now, it is. But the reason why I'm saying it's a hot take is because when I actually was getting background footage for this video, I saw a lot of videos of people bashing on the M16 when it first came out. So maybe it got buffed or something, or maybe I just got really lucky, or maybe Advanced Warfare lobbies nowadays are really easy, because whenever I've picked it up, it's always very, very strong. And every time I see it on the ground, I make it like a mission to go out of the way to make sure I pick it up, because I like using it. But the rest of the community does seem to think that it's bad, though, so that's why I didn't put it into the best tier. But now we are into the best tier, and the top 4 guns in this game are guns that, even though I'm not the biggest Advanced Warfare fan and didn't play the most of the game, are guns that will always have a special place in my heart as being just really, really good weapons. In 4th place is the HBR-A3, specifically the HBR-A3 Insanity. That thing was one of the only assault rifles in all of Advanced Warfare that, in my opinion, could rival the top contender of this game. Obviously, still wasn't as great as that gun. It still definitely felt a little bit weaker. It didn't have as great of a fire rate. It had a better range, though, but it didn't have as great as fire rate, but it was still a very, very, very strong assault rifle, and it wasn't a DLC weapon, which makes me happy. However, coming in at 3rd place is the only sniper rifle in all of Advanced Warfare that I actually would, like, want to go back and use again, the Mors, because this is as close as a bolt-action sniper as you're going to get in this game. It's a single shot, and then you got to reload it immediately after. Sniper rifle, but most of the time it will one-shot them, and the reload does not take that long. It takes just as long as cocking back, you know, the MSR does in an MW3, but overall, it's the only sniper that feels fun to get quick scopes and stuff with. And again, this is the part of the list, I've mentioned it in every single one of these lists so far, but this is the part of the list where I gotta mention it. I know that sniper rifles are technically not as good as a lot of assault rifles and SMGs are for the 99% of the player base, because obviously we are not the best at aiming. We will miss, and when we miss, you will get punished when using a sniper, and your KD will be a lot higher even if you just use the most average or even bad SMG in Advanced Warfare. Your KD will be better than if you were to use the Moors. However, it is the fun aspect that really plays a role into the sniper rifles, and I like having fun in these games, and sniping in these games are one of the most fun ways of playing them. Coming in at second place, however, and it's unfortunate because it's not even really close. Even second place really falls flat behind first place. It's the ASM-1. The ASM-1 Speakeasy in particular was absolutely broken. I never got it on my account, but I do have a friend that has it, and I got to use it when I went over. I used to go over his house all the time. God, those freaking days. Oh my god, I just got like the biggest wave of nostalgia. We used to go over, play freaking COD all the time. He had like a bonus room, and we would just play in his bonus room all night long. It was so fun. We would have this chicken, we called it good. Back to the video. The ASM-1 is a very, very, very strong SMG. Better than any other SMG in the game. But is it better than the first place gun? I don't even think it's really that close. It's good, but it's not even really that close. Because first place realistically deserves its own tier because of how incredibly overpowered it was. It's the BAL-27. This gun literally like named. Everybody started calling Call of Duty at the time BAL of Duty because of the BAL-27. It was that good. The BAL-27, for those who like never got to experience this gun, you're honestly kind of lucky, because most of us didn't really get to experience it either in its full potential. Because the regular BAL-27, while it was great, it was really the Obsidian Steed variant that just absolutely smoked every single person under the sun. Like, you did not stand a chance if you were going up against the Obsidian Steed BAL-27. And so most of us obviously didn't have that. So it was very painful, because the people that did have it would just run lobbies every single time. It was genuinely that good. Like, you might think to yourself like people are exaggerating when they talk about the BAL-27. We're not. It was that great. And I didn't even play this game that much, and even I know how much of a pain the BAL-27 was to play against. People are still, if you go and play Advanced Warfare nowadays, lobbies are still pretty much full of BAL-27s all the time, and it's really kind of annoying, honestly. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video, ranking all 49 Call of Duty Advanced Warfare guns from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the description for all the links to my socials and other YouTube channels and all that great mumbo jumbo. And obviously, next is going to be Black Ops 3, which is actually, I believe, probably like my most played Call of Duty multiplayer-wise. Actually, just overall, because I played a ton of zombies in that one too. So that one I'm actually really excited to talk about. But there is another problem with that, and that is that, again, there are a lot of DLC supply drop weapons that I never got the chance to actually use, which is very unfortunate, but whatever, we'll still do it anyways, because I like doing these videos. But yeah, that'll be the next one, and then obviously after that, Infinite Warfare, which I didn't play too much of Infinite Warfare, but I probably played more Infinite Warfare than Advanced Warfare, and then we'll be to games where I played a ton of them, except for Vanguard. Didn't play too much of Vanguard, but I don't think many people are going to watch that video anyway, so I don't really have to worry. But either way, yeah, back to two quick things before I end this video. First off is a lot of people were complaining on my regular channel, not on this channel, but on my regular channel, about how I like waste a lot of time in the intros just rambling. And I understand I do ramble a lot, man. I have ADHD, and so I just, oh my god, I almost dropped my computer. I have ADHD, and so I do tend to ramble quite a bit, and I apologize for that, man. And so from now on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to not ramble in the intros and leave the rambling to the outros. That way, the people that just want to watch the topic of the video can just watch the topic of the video right away. But the people that actually care about, me or my life or whatever it may be, can eventually watch it at the catch up with Mark and whatever I'm doing at the ends of the videos. I think that's a great idea. But also, still, let me know if you guys would like to see me like actually do like live, playing each Call of Duty, doing this and doing that. Maybe I'll do like each COD Zombies map but only getting hit once challenge, or each COD Zombies map but starting room challenge, or something like that. I think that would be a very, very fun idea, some sort of ideas to do for this channel. So let me know what you guys think for that instance, and I guess that's it. Oh no, I did have one more thing to say. What was it though? Oh yeah, I just kind of wanted to finish my story about the nostalgia thing. Dude, we used to sit in this guy's bonus room, right? His name is Ethan, and it was his neighbor is also one of my, still to this day, really close friends. Actually, these are the guys that I play. We're playing this weekend. We're finishing the Shattered Veil Easter egg together, us three, because we're still like homeboys. Like, this was back in like 6th grade though that we were doing this. But back in like 6th grade, dude, we would go to each other's house, or not each other's, just go to Ethan's house. And Ethan and Patrick are neighbors. They live like literally 10 feet from each other. And so Patrick would just walk over, and we'd sit up in his freaking room all night. We had this chick chicken that Ethan's dad would always make, right? And it was just frozen chicken, but we called it good chicken because it was so freaking good. I know we're like the next Shakespeare, I get it, but it was so good, dude. You would never. We literally search for that chicken all the time at grocery stores, and we cannot find it. They just don't make it anymore, and it's heartbreaking because of how freaking good that chicken was. And we would just sit there all the time, just eating this good chicken, playing Call of Duty Zombies and multiplayer or whatever, and just chatting. And then the big, his father was pretty successful, so the room was pretty large, dude. And so we would literally have like little kickball tournaments in there. It was the worst. It was not big enough for kickball, let me tell you, but it was still so much fun. It was just, God, such a good time. Such a good time. I just wanted to let you guys know about my little nostalgia trip there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Next is Black Ops 3. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.